Gay Paris, once the jewel of the continent. I went there as a teenager and you could stroll casually through the cobbled streets to the smell of fine wine, freshly baked baguettes and toasted garlic. And now, well now, it smells like burning pubes, melting tyres and human shite. But you didn't need me to tell you that, did you? So today's video, ladies and gentlemen, is a public service announcement. I'm going to implore you all, if you were thinking about going to the Olympic Games and you were enraptured by the idea of strolling hand in hand under the Eiffel Tower with a loved one, I'm here to disabuse you of the notion and do you a favour. And I'm going to do this by presenting several stories that I've found related to the Olympic Games because I feel like it's a public service, because I value you, dear listeners. And I don't want to see you ignorantly walking into Paris expecting to enjoy a candlelit dinner with your wife under the Eiffel Tower and instead have to endure getting shanked by a deranged, mentally ill Algerian while your missus gets chased through the bushes by the cast of Captain Phillips. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, there's some good evidence to support my hypothesis that going to Paris for the Olympic Games is basically an act of self-harm. It's one of the only places in the world that is even worse than London nowadays, and has fallen so far in the past 30 years, it's almost unrecognisable from my childhood. Please bear in mind, YouTube aggressively, shamelessly attacks my channel, so I have to use a lot of euphemisms. So please don't think I'm being coy, even though I possibly am. It's a comical channel after all, about some of these awful experiences, right? Just bear with me, read it yourselves, and you'll have to try and guess what I'm talking about by translating some of my subtle euphemisms, all right? Story number 1. From the European Conservative, foreigners committed 77% of solved struggle snuggles in Paris in 2023. Is it working? Am I getting through to you ladies? Were you thinking you were going to walk through Paris? Maybe check out a few of those handsome young men from the Swedish volleyball team? Yeah, you might get a bit of a surprise if you walk through Paris these days. And I do, of course, mean surprise sex, all right? Go out unescorted on the streets of Paris these days and a very, very randy Moroccan might drive it straight through the back of your jeans. He won't even pull them down. He'll just bash it straight through the denim and you're going to have a severe limp for a few days. Doesn't matter how much you work out, you might think you've got a fine booty. After a weekend in Paris, your ring piece is going to look like the top end of a Wellington boot, alright? So don't go. Arson attacks underscore the security and terror threats to the Paris Olympics. Officials say Paris will be the safest place on earth for the Olympics, but a day one disruption raises fears. What, you think that the officials would lie to you? No, they wouldn't do that, would they? The government lie? Come off it. They don't lie about absolutely everything all of the time, do they? And remember, it's a strength. Importing 20 million unvetted fighting age men from all four corners of the globe to Europe is a strength. They've told us loads, so it must be true. Never mind the fact that 18 to 35-year-old men are the most high energy, high testosterone, dangerous people on planet Earth as a result of physiological reasons. Never mind the fact that if you want to import 50,000 unvetted fighting age men from Glasgow to Paris, it'd cause quite a lot of trouble. What about men of the same age from places where they think women shouldn't be allowed to vote, and if you show anybody your ankles, you should get your head caved in with a brick? I mean, I'm just putting that out there. All right? Logical conclusion, seems like to me. From MSNBC, I've helped secure 5 Olympic Games. Here's what's worrisome about Paris. The threat in Paris has already manifested in the form of arrests and disruptions, and the Games haven't even started. Yeah, well, what do you know, military intelligence professional? Macron said it's the safest city in the world. And everybody knows an oily, dirty, lying, slimy little French weasel with a geriatric wife would definitely never lie to me. So you should go. Ladies, you should just go. Wear a very short skirt, short enough so just to entice the lads over. Just show them the tips of your beef lips, right? just give them a whisker, get them riled up a bit and see what happens. It'll be like throwing a chip on the seafront in front of about 60 seagulls. That's what's going to happen if you're a single young white lady walking around Paris for the Olympic Games. So I'm not even going to bother reading you the whole stories. I'll put all the links in the description. If you're a maniac and you're actually thinking of going, I suggest you read them. If you're not, and you're sensible, and you probably are because you're watching The Angry Bootneck, you'll stay home this month and you'll watch the chaos unfold with a can of cider from your settee. All right? Easy. But that's just my opinion. Maybe I'm just a cynic. I'm cynical, me. I'm sure it'll be fine. Yeah, no one's drove through Nice, squashing hundreds of innocent people in an articulated lorry, mashing them like frogs. And nobody's gone into the Bataclan, music theatre full of little kids and disabled people and butchered them like animals with AK-47s and meat cleavers. Neither of them things happened, and you haven't had priests get beheaded, and nobody set the Notre Dame on fire. Yeah, stone cathedrals often burst into flames of their own volition in the midday sun. This happens all the time, so you should go. Yeah, or not. Let me know what you think. If you disagree strongly, tell me in the comments so I can point at you and laugh. If you agree, let me know. Give me a thumbs up and press the bell end icon so people can actually see this video, because we all know that porridge-faced Wajiki and Neil have not got me on their Christmas lists, all right? Because they don't like facts and logic in Silicon Valley. That's me done. Thanks for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you all next week. Toodle pip. Cheers.